What if God lets you fall on purpose? Not to break you, but to bury what has been holding you back. When you do not understand your fall, you start believing lies that were never from God. You whisper, "I failed again. Maybe God is done with me." Shame becomes your preacher, and condemnation your only scripture. But think about Peter, the man who swore he would never deny Jesus and did it 3 times. That night he did not just fall, he shattered. And yet the same Jesus who heard his denial was the first to call his name after the resurrection. Peter's collapse was not the end of his story. It was the soil God used to grow humility, the burial ground of pride, so resurrection power could finally take root. Because sometimes the only way up is to fall face down first. What if the fall is not punishment, but preparation? When God lets something in you die, He is not abandoning you. He is burying what cannot follow you into the next season. That is why some prayers go unanswered. That is why some doors stay closed. Because resurrection power cannot live in a heart still holding on to pride, fear, or control. The fall strips away what you thought you needed, until the only thing left standing is what God planted Himself. And when that happens, heaven calls it death, but grace calls it planting. You thought God had left you in the dirt, but that is exactly where He does His greatest work. The potter does not fix broken clay from a distance. He kneels in the dust, presses his hands into what's shattered, and begins shaping something new. The same hands that formed you in the beginning now reach into your failure, not to pull you back to who you were, but to raise you into who you were meant to become. Because grace does not skip the burial, it transforms it. The moment you think it is over is usually the moment heaven starts whispering, "Rise." Every fall feels final until you realize the grave you are in is actually growing something. You are not buried. You are being planted. So if you are face down in the dirt right now, stay there long enough to let grace do its work. Because when God finally lifts you, it will not be to put you back where you fell. It will be to show the world that resurrection always starts underground. Maybe your lowest moment was not the devil's attack. It was heaven's invitation.